The 1986 Mets are one of the most historic teams in sports. They were also one of the wildest. The Mets in '86 loved partying as hard as possible, destroying, fighting, and winning. I mean, that's what everyone knows them for in '86, right? On top of all that, for some reason, they decided to make music. If you don't know me, I'm David Halo, also known as Naturally Trash. The last time I was on this channel was like April of 2020. It was a long time ago. If you don't know me, that's okay. I don't blame you. I'm a musician. Links will be in the description, hopefully, if Mike is nice enough. But welcome back. While other teams like the Miami Dolphins have put out music, no teams have put out as much or as weird music as the 1986 Mets did. We're going to look at 3 songs that were released all in the same year that they won the World Series involving the Mets. And we're going to see if the timing of them making and releasing music could connect to how well they played. Before we get in the first song, it's worth mentioning that they could have been inspired by the Bears in 1985 that destroyed the NFL and won the Super Bowl. After they won the Super Bowl, they made a song called the Super Bowl Shuffle, and that song somehow went on to get a Grammy nomination. It didn't win, but it got nominated. That's worth mentioning at least. It must have inspired 37-year-old Mets veteran George Foster, and he came up with an idea. They needed a Mets team song, as if Meet the Mets wasn't cutting it anymore. Meet the Mets, I mean, it's a hood classic. Like, who doesn't know that song? Their first song was called Get Metsmerized. It's like mesmerized. According to Once Upon a Time in Queens 30 for 30, they decided to make this song in April after winning 1 game in the whole season. I'm gonna let you hear a little clip of this song first before we talk about it, and just listen for yourself.
Get mesmerized, get mesmerized. Get mesmerized, get mesmerized.
I don't know what drugs the Mets were taking in 1986 and what was legal and what was just kind of ignored, but clearly they were all on something.
Our team is going all the way with pitching, power, speed, and style. Results guaranteed to make you smile.
From a music perspective, this song sucks. It's terribly offbeat. It somehow gets more offbeat as the song goes on, and eventually it's so off that it's somehow onbeat. The lyrics are awful. It's clearly just freestyled, but you almost can't hate them because they're clearly just trying to have fun. I just think it's odd that this was released as an official Mets song instead of just something they did for fun one night while they were drunk. The good things about the song is that the beat isn't half bad, and a lot of the lyrics, even though they're kind of garbage, they do talk about winning, or at least that they're going to win in 1986, and obviously we know that that happened.
I live to play, and that's my thing. This year we're gonna win the series ring.
They somehow predicted it after only winning 1 game. It's really impressive, but that's only the first song that they made, and I can't imagine what the reception was like in 1986 that made them confident enough to make a second and third song. Surprisingly, right after they recorded it, April was their best month of the entire season. They finished the month 13-3 and outscored opponents 95-54 in their game. They kept it up in May, June, and July, and well, you get the point, they ended up winning. So did they play better after making Get Metsmerized? Yeah, they did. It's worth mentioning that even though the song was recorded in April after they won their first game, it sat in the vault for a few months before they even put it out in early August. And after they put it out in early August, they won the most games in August than they did in any month. It has to be tied to Get Metsmerized. This song is a superpower. If you know anything about the Mets, you know Dwight Gooden. He was one of the best players in 1986. In 1985, Dwight Gooden was really good, and he arguably carried the Mets in that year. Mike said something about 13.3 WAR. 13.3 WAR.
Yeah, Dwight Gooden had 13.3 wins above replacement on Baseball Reference in 1985. No one's done that since, so he was really good.
I don't know. Dwight Gooden also put out his very own song in 1986 called Dr. K, featuring the MCL Rap Machine. Whatever that is, I don't know. There's no mention of the 1986 Mets directly that I could find in the song, but there's a Vice article that talks all about this song and how it was put out in 1986, and it's just indirectly related to the Mets because it was Dwight Gooden's song. I'm going to play you a clip of it, and then we'll talk about it. Unfortunately, yes, this is a real thing. There's still eBay and Amazon listings for getting this on vinyl right now. The 7-inch records are still being sold. If you look at the back of the vinyl on eBay, it does say Gooden is a lead rapper, but he doesn't have a verse or hook or anything on the track.
Real contender in the year number 1. Pitching for the Mets is a lot of fun. One rookie of the year in '84. Work out for a minute.
He's only a primary artist because he does ad-libs on the song. Maybe he had more something to do with it in the production or the writing. I really don't know. I feel like this is the best song that we're going to talk about out of the 3. The beat is pretty good. It's very 80s, very funky, and it just definitely sounds like a dated-ass song. It's not great, I don't hate it. I think the vocals are a little ridiculous, but the lyrics aren't terrible or as terrible as Get Mesmerized, but you know, it could be better. So because of what we think we figured out earlier about how this probably came out in spring training or in the beginning of the year, how did Gooden pitch after this came out? Gooden finished April with a 1.26 ERA, going at least 8 innings in every start and throwing 3 complete games. At one point in May, his ERA was 1.04. While he finished May at 1.96, that's still really good. And this ended up being his best stretch of the season. So did Dwight Gooden pitch better in the time right after he dropped this song? Yeah, he did. Maybe Mets need to make music again, to be honest. They might win again. Who knows? Okay, I definitely lied about the last song being the best out of these 3 songs, because Let's Go Mets is definitely the best out of these 3 songs.
Do it.
Not many people like the first 2 songs. I don't even blame them. But this song, Rolling Stone said it just won't die. And it's kind of true, because Get Mesmerized definitely died. No one plays that around Citi Field. No one even plays it in general. Realizing that their music was mid at best, the Mets brought in some professional music talent and advertising people to make them an official theme song. They finally hit their mark, so I'm going to let you listen to a clip of the song, and then we'll talk about it. This is their most impressive one, and it's because no Mets people were actually involved with this one. Like I said, they got some professional music talent to get on it. So it almost sounds like a Queen song, which is a good thing because it's better than a bunch of baseball players that are on drugs making a song. The lyrics are way better. The hook is very catchy. This is definitely the best instrumental out of the 3 songs. It just sounds way more cleaned up than the last 2, and I can see why people still listen to it to this day and why it still represents the Mets. After coming up with the idea for the song in July of 1986, they got to work on it, got the players involved a little bit, and premiered it on the big screen at Shea Stadium for the fans during a game on August 29th. Surprise, surprise, they won that game, and less than 2 months later, they won the World Series. From the time they released the song to the time the regular season ended, they went 23-12. Right after that, they won the NLCS and the World Series. You literally can't finish with a better final result than winning the World Series, so I guess the Mets went 3 for 3 and doing well after dropping music. It almost seems like that's why they were good all along. It was extremely well timed, and with the recordings and releasings of all the songs, they just did better and better throughout the season. And the fact that they really liked pumping out music may have helped them win. Who knows? I've never seen a baseball team and its players be so involved with music in a season, and this team had 3 songs attached to them in 1 year and won the World Series. Other baseball teams need to take notes, or the Mets just need to take notes from themselves and do it again, because clearly they haven't done it again since 1986.
It's been a minute, I'm back up in it. I take the block and then I spin it. I'm in the back ends up with the killers, they impatient. They gripping fitteds, they gripping grain, crucifixes, deposit checks. Cashing out on bullet vests, switch my demeanor. I had to keep her, then I leave her. I had to melt him, so I let him meet the heater. 1500 know me well.